So you want to start an e-commerce store shipping all sorts of merch from your house: shirts, hoodies, flags, stickers, buttons, patches, magnets, everything that you think that people want to buy for your company, and you want to ship it from your house. This video is all about the lessons that you need to know before you start shipping from your room. Hey, what's up? I'm Zach, and for the last 7 years, I've run my own business, and for the last 3, I've been heavily focused on e-commerce. I just recently switched from using a print-on-demand system where another warehouse was printing and fulfilling my shirts and storing my items in the warehouse and shipping those along with the apparel print on demand. But in 2021, I decided to start shipping it all myself as a redirect for the brand so that I could eventually build out a full warehouse of my own to ship all of our products. I've learned quite a bit about what to do and how to keep it efficient and what not to do. And so I wanted to make this video so that if you're thinking about shipping all of your own items, these are going to be some of the things that you need to look out for or think about before you get started, because they're definitely going to come up and sneak up on you if you don't think about this ahead of time. So definitely watch all these and let me know which one is one that you didn't think about or is one that's most important. So go ahead and comment down below which one you think is the most important to you and is going to help you scale your business the most. One of the most important things that you need to think about before getting started is space. I have this room. This is about a 10 by 10 room with a closet right behind this camera. But what is the space that you're going to use? Space is going to be really crucial because you're going to be storing items, you're going to be pulling items to pack, you're going to be packing items, you're going to be putting items into boxes to ship, you're going to need to store all of the packaging, all of the inserts, all of your stickers, all of the gear, the measuring tape, the scissors, everything, the box. You're going to need to store a bunch of items that you're going to need in order to be able to ship all of your stuff consistently and make it seamless to save you time. So thinking about shipping and shipping items from your house, how much space do you have? This room is about 10 by 10 and I have probably about $30,000 worth of inventory in here. Now, that's about 1,000 shirts, I would say, maybe a little less than 1,000 shirts, but I have tons of small items like necklaces and sticker packs and koozies and buttons and all of these smaller items that we sell so that they're not taking up too much space. I highly suggest if you're starting some sort of brand to include a lot of really small items because they're great low price point average order value increasers that people will love to add onto their cart, and most likely they're not going to return them like they might do hoodies or a shirt that they don't like. It doesn't fit quite the right way. Your stickers, your patches, your buttons, your magnets, stuff like that is really simple and small, and so it's not going to take up that much space. But you want to think about how much space you have and how to organize that. So for this room, I got rid of all of my decorative, fun decorations. I had a couch in here, I had nice looking shelves, and I went ahead and decked it out with this wire shelving that I got at Home Depot. I think each of these was about $80, so it was a pretty good price and it really maximizes the space. It kind of crowds it in a little bit. The room felt bigger before, but having these 5 shelves, they're 72 inches, gives me a ton of space. I actually, in my last video, had another decorative shelf back there. I've since sold that on Facebook Marketplace, and I have another more utility shelf coming. It's going to go right here in a little bit. Gets in tomorrow because I need even more space. So I'm finding that all of the space is important and also maximizing the space. So how are you going to organize things? Are you going to have little bins? Are you going to have boxes? How are you going to store the different items? And thinking about how you're going to maximize the little amount of space that you have. So thinking about this, you're getting started. One of these boxes probably holds about 50 shirts. That box is probably about 14 by 24 by 20. So it's kind of a big box. You're going to have a lot of those boxes, and then you're going to have a lot of small boxes. I really wasn't sure what this room would turn into when I first got started. So you don't really need to have the perfect layout for what your office or your warehouse space is going to look like. It's going to it's going to evolve through the process. I wasn't sure what this would look like when I was first getting started. I knew I needed a lot of shelves, but I'm kind of filling it in as I go. So, kind of have a rough idea of what you might need, but leave some space for flexibility to, buy smaller boxes or bigger boxes, or stackable versus, lids, like things like that. You'll kind of figure it out as it goes. But definitely you're going to need space. Maybe it's a garage, maybe it's an extra bedroom. I'm building a shed in the back to be able to hold even more inventory because really space is crucial for scaling your business. The next thing that I found really important is, how am I shipping my actual items, and what am I putting the orders in to ship them? So I didn't know what the best options were, or really what the best sizing was when I got started. So I ended up ordering some of these small padded envelopes. I have kind of these medium size poly mailers. I even got some cardboard mailers to test these out, and ended up getting the black larger size poly mailers. So going through this process, thinking about how big the items that you're going to be shipping, and what sort of shipping needs or containers that you're going to require for your items. It's kind of a test. Luckily, I wasn't sure. I hopped on Amazon, ordered a bunch of things. They have great, obviously Amazon Prime to keep me getting my items really quickly. I run out, I can pretty much get it the next day or the day after. So I ordered a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to link down below to some of the better poly bags that I found through Amazon, and some of the stuff that I prefer. I decided to go with the black mailers versus the white. I think these just look cooler, a little bit more slick with the matte color versus the all white, which I'm sure these get dirty over time. So, but this could be different for you. Are you getting the compostable mailers, which is definitely an option that I've looked at and considered, or are you getting more custom stuff? You can print your own polys so that they show up with your branding already on them. Are you getting custom made boxes? These are other boxes that we use that have our inspiration box. So some of the orders actually go out inside of these, but not all of them fit. So thinking about, are you mailing candles? Are you mailing shirts? Are you mailing hats? What is it that you need, and how are you going to find all of those materials? How are you going to store them? And which one's going to be the best, most cost efficient and effective for your business? So thinking about, what does the packaging look like to mail what you're actually selling? So you have your space to store all your items, and you have some of the packages that you're going to be mailing and packing to send out, and everything that you require for shipping. But also on top of that, you're going to need a space to actually package your stuff. Turns out you need kind of a decent amount of space to print your items, to fold, to package, to slide things in, and to have kind of a workspace for actually packing your orders. I had a really small desk before. It was like a $20 tiny desk that was not going to work at all. So I ended up selling that on Facebook Marketplace and grabbing one of these desks from Home Depot. One of the things that I got was the extendable legs, because I wanted it to be a little bit higher so that I could pack some things. And it's been great so far. It's definitely almost doubled my desk space, so I have tons more room for being able to package all my orders. And I ended up getting this really cool kind of laminate top that you can just cover this plastic desk, and so it goes from looking like this ugly plastic to this cool black wood. But definitely having that space where you can package orders. Maybe it's your kitchen table, maybe it's your desk, where you clear everything off and you have your space. But for sure, packing orders takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you want to have the space adequate enough to make that as easy as possible. You don't want a small desk, you want a big desk, so that you can keep being efficient with your stuff, having your labels here, your bags here, your toss-ins here, and having it really close, instead of having a cramped space where you're trying to package everything and it just feels too cluttered and you're knocking over boxes. Trust me, get a big desk, get a big space so you can package stuff cleanly. One of the other things that I didn't really consider is trash and waste. So this is one of my USPS mailers that I drop off, but I ended up using it as a trash can because I have so much waste that comes off of the packaging process. I'm constantly peeling mailers, the sticky part that you peel off, it goes in here. I've been unboxing a lot of stickers so that I can make smaller orders or button packs, just the different peeling and stick the Rolo labels onto here. It just ends up being a really wasteful process, and this is not really to say anything in general. You're going to need a trash can, you'll figure that out, but waste is something that I didn't really have a good idea of when it was shipping from the warehouse, because I never had to mail anything. But now that I have everything here, I'm realizing that there's just so much that gets wasted in this process, and this is not even in the shirt production or some of the other areas that waste can happen in a business. But definitely recycling all of this as much as possible, composting where possible. We use these paper bags because we want to reduce plastic, but definitely waste comes into the mix way more than I would have expected. So how much time does it take to ship an order and all of the orders that you're shipping out? I estimated that it would probably take about an hour a day to ship my 20 to 30 orders that I'm shipping, and I was actually kind of underestimating that. So I've been timing and tracking how much I'm spending on shipping, and it ends up taking quite a bit more than I expected. And so thinking about that as incorporating that into your planning is an important part. In the beginning, you're probably not shipping that many orders, and it's probably not going to take that long. But I like to batch all mine so that I do it all at the same time. And I found that as of right now, it takes between probably 2 and 3 minutes on average to ship all of the orders. So that's from printing them off of Shopify, getting the labels printed, sending them to my Rolo printer, taking them off the printer, having my bags and the labels, slapping the labels, grabbing items, packing them, peeling off the thing, stamping it, and putting it into the box that I'm going to be taking to UPS or that they're going to be picking up. So on average, I've found that it takes about 2 to 3 minutes per order, which at 20 to 30 orders a day ends up taking about an hour and some change. In the grand scheme of it, that's not that much time, and it's going to save you a lot of money versus paying basically $60 to $90 for that same amount of process. So I look at it as, hey, cool, I spend an hour of my time packing. That's about $100 an hour that I'm not having to pay somebody else. Now, when I start using the apparel and I start shipping apparel, that's definitely going to change because most of that's not as accessible as the accessories because they're in boxes and I'm going to have to dig and pull things out. But I'm also trying to become more efficient at where the most used items are. So the flags, I'm just reaching like this instead of having to rummage through and find flags. Or, the bags are here, or, the tapes here, the measuring, whatever all the things are, just making it a more efficient process. So I'm obviously trying to spend as least time as possible packing. It's not the most fun, but I just throw on a podcast, listen to some sort of business podcast, learn while I'm mindlessly packing orders, and it ends up being okay. So thinking about that for you, it's like, how are you going to maximize your shipping process, and how long is that going to take, and how are you going to factor that into your time? We only have so much time in the day, so planning around shipping is for sure something that I'm still working out, and it happens to just take more time than I expected. So those are some of the lessons that I've learned in literally like the last week of shipping items from my house by myself instead of doing it through a warehouse. Just some things I've noticed that I didn't really think about before or didn't fully understand. So if you're thinking about, starting your own Shopify store, or, starting to sell your own e-commerce goods where you're going to be holding all the inventory at your house and shipping it all yourself, hopefully this added some value, made you think about some of the aspects before you jump into it over your head, or maybe to help you better be efficient at that process if you're already doing it. So go ahead, comment below, let me know what you think is going to be the most helpful for your store, or maybe other lessons that I've learned. If you have any questions about this whole process, definitely subscribe so that you can keep coming back to watch these videos. I'm having a lot of fun about making these videos about this transition. So I appreciate all the support. Go ahead and subscribe, keep coming back, start your business, have a blast doing it, and hopefully I can help you along the way. Cheers.